Madrid. Ernesto Valverde, the new coach of Valencia, says that tonight is very much a revenge mission. They believe that they ruled the game at the Bernabeu in the Cup, and tonight it is payback time. They lost, of course, 2-0. Some decisions by the officials which were questioned. So there's extra motivation tonight, Jerry, for Valencia, the sellout crowd as well, and they're all fired up.
They are fired up, Rob. They want to make it clear to everyone that they didn't deserve to lose 2-0. I saw the game. They were very unfortunate. There were some really bad decisions went against them, but that's water under the bridge, and now it's pressure for Real Madrid, which is what we're seeing. It's a very, very positive start here from Valencia.
Well, it's a rip-roaring start in one of the finest stadia in Europe, the Mestalla. On a night like tonight, believe me, it can be hostile. There's no place for hiding, no place for the faint-hearted.
Well, not at all. That's Di Maria who, well, he makes a meal of that. There's barely any contact at all. He jumps the challenge, he rolls over, he's trying to get the sympathy vote. The referee is under pressure straight away.
Referee tonight is Senor Teixeira Gutierrez. I think we may be seeing quite a bit of him. There he is, back with the captain's armband and the goalkeeping gloves. Iker Casillas. Mourinho, well, I can't say he was teasing that he wasn't going to play him tonight, because Mourinho didn't give a media conference. The stories from the Spanish reporters as well. He saw training, claimed that he came late for training, stayed only 45 minutes and headed off without giving a media briefing to see his son's team play. Is this all part of the Mourinho mind games? Casillas was dropped, remember. He's been back in the last 3 games. He's kept 3 clean sheets.
Well, there was talk of a riot, especially with Ronaldo as well, after the last game, where he felt Ronaldo didn't do an awful lot in the last 10 or 15 minutes when he should have been looking to get another goal to finish it off. So that's been mentioned in dispatches also, Rob. Not all well, or all's not well in the Real Madrid camp.
Well, I'm sure that he goes on in the changing rooms of all of the big clubs with all of the great managers. Di Maria again is involved with Guardado. Interesting tonight, Valencia do have some defensive problems. Pereira suspended, Parejo suspended. Matthew is still out. Vegul is away on African Nations Cup duty. The experienced Albelda has a calf problem, so they've had to shuffle a side around. Guardado, who's normally an attacking left-sided player, as you can see there, is in the left-back position, number 17.
That's the only downside, I think. There he is, Guardado, and he's normally a midfield player, as you say. But then you've got Ricardo Costa playing at right-back, who's normally a centre-half. So there's been a few changes, but you can see the attitude's good. Valencia working really hard to press and close down Real Madrid.
Real Madrid is the soap opera, the stories which Albiol, to be fair, was reporting on yesterday to the media, admitting that there had been strong words between the 2 Portuguese, Mourinho and Cristiano Ronaldo. It is chronicled that they had a disagreement about the amount of effort that Ronaldo put into the final 15 minutes of the game midweek. There are so many stories that come from the Real Madrid changing room as kosher. It's like watching an episode of Homeland. There is Di Maria, who's been at the heart of everything tonight. He took the free kick too quickly for the referee's liking. Quite sure what the foul was for then, Jerry.
Well, I'm not sure either, to be honest. I think the referees find reason to give free kicks and fouls nowadays that it's totally alien to me. But no, the contact involved in football, you know, you can't challenge at all from behind, even though I think there was an art in actually hooking your foot round to win the ball cleanly. That's a good ball.
It is a high-paced game, this. Cristiano Ronaldo flips the ball in, cut out by Costa. Ronaldo again, lovely layoff to Khedira. Oh, that was some tackle from Rami.
Certainly was. Very tasty.
Ramos bounces there off Tino Costa. It's a cavalier style that Valverde has brought to Valencia. Excellent run from Jonas, and he squeezes a corner out of Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's good play from Varane. He's stuck well to his task there out in the... Well, he was in the right back spot, and Jonas put him under a lot of pressure. The result is a corner kick and more pressure. And the big centre-halves are up. Ricardo Costa, Rami, Victor Ruiz, all up.
It's not officially a standing zone. They're making some noise behind that goal, the Valencia supporters. Casillas has his first test, which he passes very comfortably of the evening.
Well, it's a decent shot from Piatti, on target. But you expect Iker Casillas to save those, Rob, don't you? Goalkeeper of his quality. Well, we're going to see an awful lot of this because Di Maria is one of those players. You can look at Ernesto Valverde, he's not happy. Any sort of touching at all. Look, and fingertips touches him on the face and he just goes down.
He just has a low pain threshold, Jerry.
I don't think he has any pain threshold, Rob, to be honest.
There are some people in there that don't like to be touched.
Well, it is a contact sport we're playing in, although certain people would want to change that. That's a good ball.
Threads Ronaldo, whose legs gave way a little easily in the penalty area.
There was a good shoulder-to-shoulder with Ronaldo and Rami there, fighting for the line of the ball. That's what I'm talking about, contact. The only difference would have been had it, and Ronaldo, be fair, goes down, that's all, but it's a strong challenge. And he's entitled to go down.
That was textbook, wasn't it?
It was.
Winning the ball, shoulder to shoulder, ball within playing distance. If it had been the opponent over in a legal manner.
If it had been Di Maria, he would have rolled over 3 or 4 times just to over-exaggerate the situation.
There is Jerry's favourite Real Madrid player, to Kedira. Fine feet by the German. And jostling for position in the centre. Oh, on the head of the queue was Higuain.
Can't believe it.
It slipped off to those banana-coloured boots.
I can't believe he's missed this. Fantastic breakaway. Superb delivery coming up here. Right foot. Just go and tap it in. Well, I can't believe he's missed that from, what, 6-7 yards in. Wonderful ball from Arbeloa. He's got to score. And he knows that. He's actually got a great record as well. He's got 5 goals already here at the Mestalla for Real Madrid. And he should have made that 6, Rob. It should have been 1-0 to Real Madrid. What a chance.
5 goals in 4 matches at the Mestalla. The only player who scored more in Real Madrid colours is the great Di Stefano. This is Piatti.
A great tackle.
It was extremely well timed by Contrao.
See, the art of tackling, I think, is something that needs to stay in the game. This is a wonderful challenge from Contrao. He's not favourite, but he wins the ball cleanly. Another corner kick.
Piatti. Ozil turns out of defence. Di Maria drops the shoulder, takes the eye of defenders, and he's made a brilliant run. He has support. Does he go solo? He passes on the responsibility, and Real Madrid take the lead after 8.5 minutes. Higuain loves this place. He always scores at the Mestalla.
That's 6 in 5 appearances against Real Madrid. Second attempt now because he missed one a couple of minutes ago. But that's textbook counter-attacking football from Real Madrid. It really is superb. Wonderful stuff, end to end. Wonderful turn to start it off from Mesut Ozil. And then the pass, you can see he's onside. He's a half a yard or a yard onside. Super pass. He's got his head up. He sees Gonzalo Higuain. He doesn't get greedy. He tees it up. That's a brilliant finish from Gonzalo Higuain. Quality finish. 2 chances, and he's got himself a goal. 1-0 Real Madrid.
And credit to your friend Di Maria as well, Jerry, for the assist.
Absolutely. He's teed it up now. He could have been greedy and gone for goal, but he has done. He's done the right thing. He's made the right run, and he's teed it up nicely. I haven't got a problem with him as a player, Rob, just that he feigns injury and he dives too much. just coming back from an offside position. You can see there he's maybe half a yard. He's right in front of the linesman, and that's the right decision. Lovely touch from Ronaldo.
Well, as we were teeing up, Jerry, just before he scored the goal, he's now scored 6 at the Mestalla, as many as Di Stefano Higuain.
Oh, just offside.
Just offside. Higuain's been selected, of course, tonight ahead of Karim Benzema, who had scored 3 goals more this season. Clearly offside there.
Yep. There's not an awful lot between the two, and again, the manager makes the decision. He'll know in training who he feels the hungrier and what way he wants to play it. Bear in mind, they're going to play each other again. Is it Wednesday night? So I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of Karim Benzema. We'll see a lot more of Gonzalo Higuain.
There's Piatti. Flies the ball over. He's an exciting player who came in and made a massive impression when he was at Almeria. Valencia signed him for big money, €7.5 million. It's taken a while for him to fully establish himself. Trying to train there on Soldado, who's not moving too freely, the leading scorer of Valencia. Of course, overall, appears to be this doom and despondency surrounding Real Madrid at the moment, and Mourinho's team currently 37 points, 18 behind their great rivals Barcelona. But maybe when they come to write the diary of this season, this will be the vital time when he gave ego checks to Cristiano Ronaldo and Iker Casillas.
Like, we know enough about Mourinho that he's clever, and he will have his side ready for the Manchester United Champions League game, and obviously for the Copa del Rey match on Wednesday night, and he's got them fired up here. They're playing really well on the counter-attack. 2 chances, they've got 1 of them. Probably should have had 2 goals.
The bigger picture maybe for Mourinho is the Champions League. They believe that they own it at the Bernabeu. 9 times champions of Europe.
Nobody else has won it more than them.
Nobody's come close.
No.
What he'll be doing, he'll be preparing his team for Manchester United. Of course, he was over in England for the Liverpool game last week under the HUD. This is Di Maria trying to set up a second goal, and Diego Alves has to be precise with his goalkeeping.
Good pass from Ronaldo and a great ball from Di Maria. First time, left foot, right through the 6-yard box. Anybody gets a touch on that, back of the net.
Now Guardado. Mexican international. I've never seen him play left back before. Linking up with Tino Costa. Now Gago, the man who left Real Madrid in the summer to join Valencia.
What a good ball.
He's one of those players who is very casual, never seems to have a hair out of place. Appears sometimes, Gago, to not be giving his all, but he can thread passes.
It was a great pass. It was just a little bit too much pace on it for Costa.
There's Costa. Over on top of the situation, decided that Arbeloa had come through the back of Jonas.
Well, little Nick there. Not sure how much contact there is on Jonas there. He's maybe made the most of the situation. But he's got the free kick. Maybe just a little bit too far for a straight strike at goal. But Tino Costa, who can hit them, is lining it up, and I don't see too many other people over the ball. I think he's going to have a go at this one, Rob. It's got to be at least 35 yards out.
And this is a promising angle as well.
Good left foot, hasn't he?
Yeah, Casillas and Xabi Alonso conversing there.
Interesting,
nervous looking
position.
Yeah. The big build-up for Tino Costa. The wall painfully placed. Eva Banega toe-to-toe with Arbeloa. Fine defender, Alvaro Arbeloa. The first names on the team sheet every week.
Well, he's Mr. Consistency, isn't he? You know he's going to give you at least a 7 every week.
Venegas corner. Kadira's header. The referee stops a tangling in the penalty area.
Well, he's making his mark. Teixeira Vitiene, the referee. Should have let play continue, but wanted to make a point. Well, there's a little bit of shoving going on there. Jonas is involved in it with Sami Khedira. Yeah, there is a shove, there's no doubt about that. I think the referee's right.
Of course, Real Madrid tonight without Sergio Ramos, his third of a 5-game ban. Pepe missing as well, so Albiol and Varane, the unusual centre-back pairing. Mourinho has Coentrão on the left side of the defence because Marcelo, who made his comeback this week in the first team, is not 100% yet, certainly not match fit. A chance tonight after Barcelona's defeat on Saturday for Real to close the gap on them to just 15 points. The league is written off for Real Madrid, though. The bigger picture is the Holy Grail, the Champions League. Great ball from Higuain, an interception. Why could that be called a back pass? It required a save from Alves.
Diego Alves was going the other way, but all's well that ends well.
Now Khedira. Right across, and it was a nervous interception from Rami. He thought that Ronaldo's offside, but had to get to the ball just in case.
Well, he is offside. He's a couple of feet offside there, but Rami still made the interception, which was important.
There are a number of empty seats in the upper grandstand behind the goal. Valencia decided they wanted to price the tickets quite high tonight. You can get them for between 55 and 160 euros on the day. Some ticket problems and prices are universal. The cup game tickets were on sale for half that price, 30 to 85. There's Khedira. There's a briskness about Real Madrid's play tonight, Jerry, isn't there? They're happy to sit back, absorb, but probably Mourinho is trying to use the speed of Di Maria and Ozil on the counter.
I'll say they look much better organised than I've seen them in the last 2 or 3 games. You know, and I thought they looked a wee bit vulnerable with the same 2 centre-halves, Rafael Varane and Albiol in the centre of defence. Albiol hasn't played much football this season, but he looks a lot more secured and settled. You're right, the attitude looks good. On the counter-attack, 3 or 4 times they've looked very good. I mean, again, never underestimate Jose Mourinho.
All of the talk about Guardiola, the man who, of course, was beaten to the title by Mourinho last year, but is still retaining the headlines around Europe, starting his German classes.
Bit late, that one.
I think that will be our first yellow card of the evening. It's not the first offence committed by Arbeloa, so his name goes into the referee's little black book.
He's a little bit late, I think. Jonas has over-exaggerated it. There's contact, but I don't think there's that much. Both teams complaining about the feet up, but I mean, whose foot's the higher? Is it Tino Costa's or Arbeloa's?
To Guardado. It's a repeat of the opening game of the season, of course. A 1-1 scoreline. Higuain scored for Real Madrid that night. Jonas for Valencia.
Yeah, that was the equaliser just before half-time when Real Madrid had dominated, had 2 or 3 chances, and then Soldado scored a goal, 15-20 minutes from the end, and when we looked at the replay afterwards, it was onside, but it was disallowed. So you can see why Valencia have obviously complaints when they play Real Madrid. Things don't always go well for them.
Hey! 20 minutes have flown by in this high-paced game.
It's been a good game. Both sides have played well, but just think tactically, Real Madrid, as you said, Rob, with their pace up front, very good counter-attack play. I think they deserve to be in the lead.
Higuain after 9 minutes. Tino Costa. The onus, of course, is on Valencia to entertain, to enthrall their supporters. Already this season they've changed management. Ernesto Valverde took over in the first week of December. He's had a pretty decent start as well so far. 7 wins in the 9 games in charge. Piatti draws Varane from his central position. Good cover deflecting. And this referee's not winning too many friends either. This is Arbeloa who goes nose to turf. In truth, he was just trying to get out of the way of the ball, wasn't he?
Absolutely, there's nothing there for me.
That was the caution. You could see why he gave that one.
Yeah.
In Spain, I'm sure you know, they play the games in the same order in the front half and the second half of the season, and they've got back-to-back home games. Valencia, Real and Barca. It will head on. Corner, Real Madrid quietens the crowd.
Superb cross from the right-hand side from Di Maria. Rob checks back on the left foot. It's a nightmare for defenders to deal with. Rami happy to put it out for the corner. Take your pick.
The Brazilian goalkeeper Alves decides to box away. Piatti to Eber Banega. Behind you is the cry in pantomime fashion from the home supporters. Whereas Banega had such a long time out of the game, a combative midfield player. Guardado. In support is Jonas, the Brazilian. Back to Guardado. Great run from him. Half decent cross, and the referee has a lingering look and he gives the decision, but he's going to book the Valencia striker Jonas for taking a dive.
Well, this is really close, Rob. I thought his momentum got him a fraction ahead of the defender before the challenge came in. And I ain't so sure I want to see that again. He's nicking it there. I think he has dived because he nicks the ball, but I'm not sure that Gonzalo Higuain hit him. He's dived. The referee's got it spot on.
There'll be strikers out there that'll tell you that he anticipated that he was going to be kicked.
Oh, he knew it was coming. That's why he hit the straight legs.
Higuain knew that kind of area and pulled his foot away, didn't he? Nicked the ball, and then he went down like a Hollywood stuntman.
This Hollywood stuntman wouldn't go down as good as that, I'll tell you. It's definitely a dive, and the referee, to his credit, has got it spot on.
Well, there's been a big debate this week all around Europe, but especially in the Soccer Saturday studio at Sky on Saturday about the art of diving and has it disappeared. But we've seen some tenacious tackling tonight and some well-timed tackles as well, haven't we?
Rob, you know, I've griped about it for, what, the last 15 years, and I haven't seen it disappearing. It always rears its ugly head.
There's Cadera, who can tackle. I want to see the great Tommy Smith on Thursday to talk to him about tackling. We went through how to tackle, the art of tackling in his front living room. As you can see, that was sadly the art of how to try to convince the referee that you've been fouled in the penalty area. Di Maria, led away by Costa. This is Piatti. Ricardo Costa. Piatti may have been clipped there.
He was.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
He was. It was contact, minimal, but there's certainly contact there. Pablo Piatti makes the most of it as well. An awful lot of kidology goes on in this game between some of the wide players.
Vlencia hoping to keep the momentum going. They've won 4 of the last 5 games. They won the last 3 in La Liga. As part of this Valverde revolution. Going forward in possession. And there is Iker Casillas, who you may remember was dropped for the Malaga game and then Real Sociedad as well. But since he's been back in the team, he's had 3 clean sheets in a row.
Mourinho will tell you then what he did was right, because he's improved.
Well, fans get upset, don't they, universally, if a star is dropped, be it a Iker Casillas or a Frank Lampard or a David Beckham in days gone by at Manchester United. But generally, it's the manager that will win the argument. This is Ozil. Gago. Strong managers make big decisions and have their way of motivating the millionaires.
That's what you get paid money for. You get the best out of these so-called stars. Guardado's done well.
Drives inside. Good tackle by Alonso. It's been Real Madrid have been pressed into the defensive for most of the evening. Their goal, if you've just joined us, came after 9 minutes. A fantastic counter-attack. This is a great run as well. I was asking just a little bit much of Tino Costa.
Well, you know what to say, Rob. You cannot miss the ball at the near post, the goal at the near post. He's made a fabulous run. If he squares it, you can see Soldado's in there. It's a tap in for him. And he's got to cut it back for me. I think he's taken the wrong option. Gone for power, pace, and he's tried to score at the near post.
And Costa's had a good season. Not necessarily on the goal-scoring front, but his talents have been recognised by his native Argentina on his 2nd cap recently against Saudi Arabia. Xabi Alonso with the up and under. Under maybe Higuain. Ball stolen. Ozil. Falls very kindly for Khedira. Well, an unconventional but massively important save from Diego Alves.
Fantastic play from Real Madrid, because Gonzalo Higuain has picked the pocket just there. He's picked his pocket, nicked the ball off him. Great ball in here. Well, it takes a deflection, but Sami Khedira hits the target. Doesn't matter how Diego Alves saves it, Rob. The important thing is he stopped it in the back of the net. That could have been 2-0. And again, tactically, I think Real Madrid playing very well.
Number 2, Varane, who was at the head of the queue there. Just got under the ball, didn't he? Couldn't quite believe the space that he got.
Well, he got a lot of space, but Ricardo Costa actually just nudges him as he's up there, just coming in there. See that, just that little push, and does enough to put him off. That's a good save from the goalkeeper. Mourinho's looking for the second one, the cushion.
There has been all kinds of speculation that Mourinho may be doing his best to work a way out of the club, but tonight he celebrates his 150th game in charge of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They've had 10 managers since Del Bosque. He was the last man to get to the 150 not out 10 years ago.
Well, Fabio Contrao's got a yellow card for that. I don't know if the referee could have seen from the angle he was at. It certainly looked as if it hit him on the chest as he goes to ground here, and then went up and hit him on the hand as well. But I don't see that as a yellow card.
All line up on the edge of the 18-yard box, anticipating the cross from Tino Costa. There's a wind swirling around the stand tonight. Casillas comes, and he takes it at the highest point. Of course, the shock of Iker Casillas is that he's only missed 10 games now in almost 11 years as the undisputed #1 of Real Madrid. He's properly established himself back in 2000. You may remember when he played in the Champions League final against Vlencia when he was just 19 years of age. Have gone. Real Madrid finished their chance better than Valencia did.
It's a good play.
It is Ronaldo. Cohen-Trout just went over under his own speed. There's a gap there on the left side, but Valencia can't make the most of it, and Cohen-Trout remains in attack. Alonso not aware of Jonas behind him. Nobody can stand on the ball and pose tonight. Jonas.
Well, they're closing down well, isn't it? They're closing down really well. Everybody's having their pocket picked. You know, anybody looking 2 or 3 touches on the ball, beware.
Costa. Benega. Another Argentinian international. It will be a Real Madrid throw-in. Don't forget, a very busy week of Spanish football. On Monday night, we'll bring you Real Betis Athletic, 8:30 on the internet. Tuesday, we look back at all of the action in Revista at 6:30, Sky Sports 1. Part of our double headers, Sevilla against Zaragoza, starting at 6:25, Sky Sports 2 on Wednesday, followed by these two teams again, Valencia, Real Madrid, second leg, the quarter-finals, and on Thursday, Betis against Atletico, 7 o'clock kickoff there, and the big one, Malaga against Barcelona, 9 o'clock start, Sky Sports 2.
Some great games coming up this week, Robin.
It's a cracking week of football, isn't it?
Football is right.
You don't mind being snowed in, do you? By the way, it's been 16 degrees today in Valencia. I'm interested in the weather. This is Khedira. Cuts it to Ozil. Wide it goes, right across. Big save again by Alves. Well, Khedira started that close to the halfway line and almost finished it 6 yards from goal.
He's done everything right, Rob. He's got the touch on it, the important touch, but Diego Alves has made a great save. There's a decent ball. They're not carving out clear-cut opportunities, Valencia, and that's credit to the Real Madrid defence.
Eva Benega. Guardado. Jonas. The one play we have not mentioned so far tonight, has not had a sniff the ball, has been Soldado. He's been in fantastic scoring form, 7 goals in his last 7 La Liga matches, but he has been so well catered for by Real in the opening half an hour of this game.
He's that sort of a player, Rob, that, you know, you might see him for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then suddenly half a chance and it's in the back of the net. He's a very clinical finisher. Good ball.
It is a fine ball to Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, leaves the defenders. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All of the work done by Ronaldo and the finishing touch from Di Maria.
I'll tell you what, fantastic team goal. Wonderful team goal. Great football. Diagonal pass to Ronaldo was superb. On the ball, Ronaldo's just so good. He had 2 or 3 times he's turned the defender inside out, but he wanted to pick the opportune moment, and he stuck it in at the far post for Di Maria. Really was brilliant. And there's Ronaldo passing in here now. Watch his return pass. Diagonal ball, onside. Takes it well with the left foot. Feigns to hit it with the left foot. Checks back on the right. And then sticks it into the pommel position of maximum opportunity. And it's a tap in for Di Maria. And he's done both of them. That's just superb. And Valencia are 2-0 down. And they haven't really played that badly. But Real Madrid's been brilliant.
Magical play from Cristiano Ronaldo, and Di Maria with his 5th goal of the season.
See, they play like that consistently in the league, and that's the difference this season. They have been consistent in the league, but on occasions we've seen them playing, and look at this, here we go again.
There goes Ronaldo again, looking for a quick third goal. This could finish it off. Ronaldo with a step over, and there it is, 3-0. He has torn Valencia apart. And how the pendulum swings in the space of a couple of minutes.
If you'd have seen the cup match last week, Rob, honestly, Valencia were very unfortunate, losing 2-0, and they're hard done by that, and they've come out here today looking to make amends for it, and they've been destroyed. 3-0 down 35 minutes. It could have been a lot more. Kadir's had 2 chances, it's been saved. They've already missed 1 opportunity. Gonzalo Higuain, he's got 1, and Ronaldo here has done superbly well. He's brilliant on the one-on-ones, shapes to come inside, then he goes on the left foot on the outside and beats the goalkeeper. Unfortunately for Diego Alves at the near post, but it's points in the bag. It's 3 goals, and they are destroying Valencia.
Well, if he has had words with Jose Mourinho this week, Mourinho has motivated one of the all-time great players. Now Cristiano Ronaldo is on 29 goals for the season. We're told between the 2 goals there was 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Well, they're on a high, aren't they? They've created 6 very good chances, Real Madrid, and they're 3-0 up.
You have to have sympathy for any Valencia fan that nipped away for a packet of peanuts. 1.5 minutes later, his team have conceded 2 goals. Thought to be nothing on here, and for maybe, but for a couple of players on Planet Football, that wouldn't have been a goal-scoring opportunity.
No, but you're talking about one of the best players in the world. Certainly Ronaldo is very, very good finisher with either foot. He's good in the air, he can score all types of goals. And his performance tonight's been absolutely top drawer, as has been the Real Madrid team, Rob. This is as good as I've seen them, and I've seen them poor. A couple of weeks ago they were very poor. And they drew 0-0, was it at Osasuna? They were very disappointing on that night and probably should have lost the match, but whatever Mourinho's doing, Rob, I don't know if it's a ploy or whatever, he's starting to get them back on track.
Well, he's given everybody the silent treatment, hasn't he? He's laid low in training, he's not spoken to the press, and everybody's wondering what he's thinking. They're filling in the gaps. It's a very clever game that he did play in his time at Chelsea as well. And the 2 men he's maybe had words with. Iker Casillas is keeping a clean sheet. Ronaldo has scored 1 and made 1. It's like turning back the clock to last May, when there was such a gap between Real Madrid and Barcelona. They won the title by 9 points. They were top from round 16.
Yeah.
Pensive look from Jose Mourinho.
And Aitor Karanka alongside him.
Yeah.
He's usually a spokesman who deputises for him in the press conference, but he's not been doing the press conferences either. And you're right, Rob, it's been the silent treatment, but he knows what he's doing it for a reason. And over the years we have to respect and understand that he gets results doing this. And there's it, Ozil from the right hand side with the left foot. It's going to be swinging in.
Goalkeeper asks the defenders to deal with that, and they do in a fashion. Varane applying the header. Still a teenager, but becoming a fixture in the Real Madrid team. It's his 3rd start in a row of the young French international.
I think it's better every time we watch him. He really has got it all. He's good in the air, he's a fabulous athlete, and he's got great ability on the ball, and he's going to get more experience as he gets older. That's a strong challenge, very strong.
I think it's one of those actually looked worse than it was. Gago just catching Xabi Alonso. The man actually who arrived
to replace
ended Gago's career at Real Madrid. There may be more to that than meets the eye.
Well, it's high. The ball's gone and it's high, and he's just taken Xabi below the knee.
There was no apology because Gago was the #1 midfield man before Xabi Alonso came from Liverpool for 34 million euros. Gago then drifted out of the picture and has resurfaced here at Valencia. It's going a lot of Higuain, but he does well. Alonso. Higuain. Di Maria follows it across the area. Who's at the end of it? Ronaldo!
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that is football of the highest quality.
I haven't seen this Real Madrid side play as well as this Rob away from home for a long time. A long time. They have destroyed Valencia tonight. Absolutely destroyed them. Superb play here. Gonzalo Higuain, the ball from Di Maria to the far post. Little setup, and then the finish is sublime once again from Ronaldo. It's really top drawer. That's 30 goals for the season, Ronaldo. What a strike. 4-0 before half-time at the Mestalla. Now, who would have forecast that?
It's the dictionary definition of clinical finishing.
It certainly is. I have to say, 7 chances and 4 of them in the back of the net, and 2 of the others were. And look at this. Not even half-time. The fans are going home.
To watch no longer.
Oh my goodness.
Valencia is a club that has always been renowned for its mean defence. Only once this season they conceded 4 goals, and that was against Malaga. Surely no way back for them now. What they won't want to do is give any more away and any more psychological advantage to Real, because they have the second leg of the Cup coming up this week.
Absolutely, Rob.
Anega. Guardado.
Not too far away.
And Casillas flying through the air.
The Mexican international strikes that one really cleanly. Left foot, and whistles past the far post.
Well, he wants payback as well, doesn't he? Because he's got an own goal in the Copa del Rey midweek. Fine technique. There's just a murmur of discontent around this massive stadium. 50,000 at capacity. We're not far off capacity tonight. There are a few empty seats behind the goal that Diego Alves is trying to keep the net off. And this is the swashbuckling Real Madrid that destroyed everybody last season in La Liga. In comparison to now, they had 12 points more at the same stage last year, 22 goals more. But as always, they've lived out something between a reality TV show and a soap opera in the first 4 or 5 months of the season.
That's really hopeful, that, isn't it, from that range, Piatti.
It is like a soap opera, isn't it? Everybody gets a storyline at some time or another at Real Madrid. Four brilliant goals, different goals, all very well taken, very well worked. Oh, they're going for a 5th before half-time. It's Di Maria. It's 5. It's a Sunday night goals feast.
That's a bonanza. I'll tell you, they are carving them apart. Confidence is sky high with Real Madrid. Every time they go forward, they look like they're going to score. And Valencia's heads are down on their knees. The white flags are coming out, the handkerchiefs.
Well, Manchester United supporters who believe that Real Madrid were a spent force I think you better be hiding behind the sofas. They're back with a bang in 2013.
Look at that header up for Varane. The pass from Mesut Ozil. Di Maria through, one-on-one. He's quick, keeps his composure, his balance, and just slots it past Diego Alves to make it 5-0. And Ernesto Valverde's standing there, he's shaking his head. I don't know what sort of a team talk it's going to be at half-time, but it's all over, I'm telling you now.
Well, the white handkerchiefs are out, not for surrender in Spain, but for disgust at the performance of the players. There's Soldado. We haven't seen him. He hasn't had a look in the game. It's just been the Real Madrid strikers who've been hogging the headlines. Couple of goals for Di Maria. Ronaldo as well, in fantastic form with the brace, and Higuain started it off. It's 5-0 at half-time.
Someone midfielder, like Canales or some other, he can play with the ball, he can move the ball and try to score one goal and just make it up a little bit, because he doesn't want to finish 7 or 8-0.
OK, let's get back to the second half. Jerry Armstrong and Rob Palmer.
Real Madrid having a ball tonight. 5 goals in the first half. I thought this was going to be a tough match against Valencia, who after retribution, Valencia started the game well, but they've gone to pieces. Now it could be 6, just seconds into the second half. Di Maria, who has been in sensational attacking form, he scored 2 goals. I'm sure that Sir Alex and his scouting staff will be casting an eye over this Real Madrid performance tonight and learning an awful lot, not on how to stop them, but what can happen if you take your eye off the ball. Below as his heels clips, the Real Madrid fullback, both he and Cohen Trout were booked early in the game before they went goals crazy.
Well, it's not been a good start to the second half from Valencia's point of view as well, Rob. They've started very poorly. That bad kicker from Diego Alves gave another chance for Real Madrid, and that's one thing you don't want to do in the first minute of the second half when you've conceded 5.
Taken quickly, and Diego Alves goes to ground. He's a goalkeeper who once conceded 8 goals in his Almeria days against Barcelona. I'm sure he still has nightmares about that. This isn't doing any good for his psyche. Confirmation of the change. It's Gago, who has been sacrificed, and an extra defensive player, Barragan, coming on. His damage limitation for Valencia, but the thing as well, like, they have to win the fans back. I can't just allow Real Madrid to declare at 5 goals. They've got to go and try and have a little dig at them. Soldado, can't record him actually having a touch in the first half for Roberto Soldado. Casillas seeking another clean sheet. And maybe for once the headlines in Madrid and the Spanish sports papers will be about the excellence of a Real Madrid performance rather than the politics of what's going on at the training ground.
Well, if this is what they do once Mourinho's, well, it's a ploy of some sort. It's certainly working. It's working a treat. As I said earlier, Rob, it's the best I've seen Real Madrid play away from home in the league in many years. Fabulous performance against a really difficult opponent here at the Mestalla.
They have scored 5 on their travels once this season, Jerry. Do you know where it was?
Don't say Mallorca, because I already know.
You see, we have to get Mallorca into one of your commentaries every week. They were beaten
my old club Mallorca
5-0 in the latter days of October. Here's Albiol. You can see a lot of empty seats now inside the stadium. It started out that there were very few tickets for sale before the game, but Mourinho has come to town. He's not shown histrionics on the touchline. He's going through this period of giving everybody the silent treatment, and he's turned his team around tonight.
Well, I've never seen Real Madrid beat Valencia 5-0, or by 5 clear goals here at the Mestalla. Not my time, Rob. That's just totally unheard of.
Well, the biggest ever win against Valencia was by 4 goals, a 4-goal difference in October 2007. They won 5-1 that night. They have scored 6 here in April a couple of years ago, and Higuain scored a hat-trick. That was a 6-3 win, so that was a 3-goal margin. So this, at the moment, is on course for their biggest ever margin of a success at the Mestalla. Dino Costa. Soldado again can't get a head onto the ball. The last time Valencia conceded 5 goals was against Real Sociedad, and that cost the coach Pellegrino his job. He almost has to wipe the minds of his players, tell them this is a different game. It's a dipping shot, and it had Iker Casillas beaten now. Piatti has been the outstanding player for Valencia tonight.
Well, he's on the right-hand side. It skips in on his left foot. He clips it, just hits the top of the crossbar. That's as close as they've come. And you're right, he's done well in the first half. He's looked their most influential player up front, but they've not created too much, Rob, to be fair. Real Madrid defensively have been excellent.
Well, it hasn't been a disastrous performance for Valencia. That's a crazy thing to say. I think against most teams, they'll be holding their own, maybe a goal behind, but they had the chances early on. It's just that Real Madrid's finishing has been masterful.
And the passing and the movement, it's just been a really good performance. Really excellent performance from Real Madrid.
Mourinho's team did go goals crazy last season. Remember, they scored 7 against Osasuna. They managed to score 6 goals on 4 occasions last year. That's what took them to the title so convincingly. And there are throes of the wonderful days of last year for Mourinho and his players. Higuain runs across the back line. He's stopped by Ricardo Costa. The shell shot to Diego Alves. Guardado. Ozil wins it back. Try to free the runner, but now it's Valencia's turn. Costa. Guardado. Jonas. Too much on the ball, picked up by Contrao. Closed the white line, but yeah, it was good defending, wasn't it?
It's Barragan, I think it was, yeah, he's come across. Good defending's right, because Contrao's got good pace and was very forceful. Now the counter-attack's home with Piatti once again.
Piatti feeds it through. Corner coming laterally off Cadena.
Doesn't look to be doing too much, Michael Essien. He's just stretching a wee bit and admiring the game.
Was it free header? And Contrao clears it off the line, and it's just one of those evenings for Valencia. Casillas was beaten again, but that is why you place your fullback on the post. Is that handball by Di Maria? It appeared so. If it is, it'll be the mandatory yellow.
He's got his back to the referee once again in this situation. Now, how can the referee see if it hits him on the hand or not?
He's got an assistant on the touchline, Jerry. Maybe they did see that. And that was the header.
That's good defending. Xavi Alonso does well there as well. He heads it as Contrao stops it on the line, and Xavi heads it into, well, in the safe zone.
This is into the no-man's land between keeper and defence. Sloppy throw though, picked up by Barragan. There's the former Liverpool fullback. Albiol's header out. Oh, and another flashing volley that goes just wide from Costa. They've had their chances in this game. Yeah. Be interested to see the chance count in a couple of minutes' time, Jerry.
Don't think they've created as clear-cut chances though as Real Madrid. This one's from well outside the area. It's on the volley. He's got a good sweet foot, left foot, Ricardo Costa, but doesn't hit the target. You've got to hit the target if you want to score.
James, our statistician, is going to put in an overtime claim tonight for the amount of work he's having to do for records and things. Tells us that is Valencia's 9th attempt on target. Real have had 11. Difference is 7 of Real's 11 have actually been on target. Only 2 of Valencia's 9 have actually been on the goal target and been off target with 7, if you get my drift.
Yeah, that's the difference. I just made the point there from that Ricardo Costa shot that went wide. Oh, sorry, Tino Costa's shot that went wide of the mark on the volley. You've got to hit the target. That's the problem. And they're not hitting the target, and their chances haven't been as straightforward or as clear-cut, certainly as Real Madrid's. Real Madrid's counter-attack play and the chances they've created have been absolutely superb. So we see this free kick.
Soldado, I think, coming back from an offside position.
There's Piatti.
There's Costa, layoff from Soldado. Now Banega. The makeshift defence of Real Madrid is doing a fairly decent job. Regular centre-back pairing of Pepe and Ramos are missing. Marcelo, well, I think it would be fair to say, is the number 1 left-back. Not quite ready, so it's Coentrão, Albiol, Varane, and they're protecting Iker Casillas, who's looking for his 4th clean sheet in a row.
Certainly, you won't want to concede any goals now. They've won this game. It can only be complacency if Real Madrid take the foot off the pedal. I think they're just going to absorb pressure, and on the counter-attack we've seen in the second half, they've got good pace, they've got players who can finish. If the chance pops up, I think they'll take it.
Real Madrid have now taken it to the 50 goals mark in La Liga this season. Last year overall they managed 121 goals. Coentrão. This is Piatti with a dipping cross. Albiol's header. Sergio Canales, the former Real Madrid player who's had a horrendous few months with injury. It's his first inclusion in the La Liga first-team squad.
He's a clever player, Rob. Superb technique, skill. That's why Real Madrid bought him initially. Left-footed, playing the hole behind the front man.
Casillas again leaves it to his defender to bail him out. I think he was actually asking for a free kick there, but the referee offering protection.
Let's see what's going on. Soldado, well, he's just leaning in a wee bit. He's not done an awful lot wrong, but it's good defending. How many times have we seen Coentrão at the far post heading the ball away? And I don't see an awful lot wrong there.
Xabi Alonso has been suffering with a little bit of a neck injury of late. He's taken out of the firing line, and this hardly weakens them, does it, when they bring on a top talent like Michael Essien. No wonder he's got a smile on his face. Come and join the party. Half-time substitute, looking for Soldado. Good header away by Varane, and Casillas, sure-handed, keeping out Costa.
Well, wasn't sure if Varane needed to head it back out into the danger. He might have been better putting it out for the corner. Heads it out, nobody on the edge of the box except Costa, and he hits the target this time. Good save from Iker Casillas.
Well, it's difficult, I suppose, to lift yourself when you're 5 goals up after 45 minutes. Arena will want records to be made, though. They scored 8, didn't they, a couple of years ago against Villarreal, 7 against Malaga in Mourinho's time. But this is a tough opponent. This is a Valencia side who, of course, have progressed to the knockout stages of the Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain are their opponents, and it reconvenes. onus now on Valencia to win a few friends amongst their supporters, who have been pretty loyal. There were a few white handkerchiefs and boos at half-time. But the fans have got behind the team.
Well, Ronaldo knew he was offside there, Robbie, and he just kept away from the ball. But was Gonzalo Higuain, was he offside?
I think he was just offside.
Just
Higuain,
leaning.
wasn't he? Yeah.
That was the debate. Linesman's in a much better position than we are.
Here's Jonas. They're probably equal on shots in the game now.
Yeah, but you're not hitting the target. This is the point I made in the first half, Rob. They had 2 or 3 half chances from tight angles, but didn't test the goalkeeper. Well, I think the fact they're 5-0 down, they're starting to clutch at things and take any half chance and just snapping at the shots. Desperate to get a goal back to save face. But they must know that the points are gone. And it's going to be difficult now, because from a confidence point of view, Real Madrid will come back here on Wednesday with a lot of confidence and belief that they can score a couple of goals again.
Well, they've conceded more goals tonight, Valencia, against Real Madrid than they have done in all of the La Liga games since Valverde took over. Real making yardage down this right-hand side. So Ozil, who's actually had a quieter game, but he's taken out unceremoniously by Banega. Essien. Ronaldo. I believe that Mourinho's been a little bit upset with his team and their staying power this season. To finish off the opposition when the legs have gone and the minds are weary as well. I was looking at when they've scored the goals, and they do score a lot of late goals. They've actually scored 16 goals in the final 10 minutes of matches this season, a dozen goals in the final 5 minutes of games. Ronaldo. It's a foul. Yeah, caught in full flight by Banega. Yellow card for him, which is an occupational hazard.
Well, they're scoring the goals early today, Rob, all the goals in the first half. And that'll suit them for next week's game. They're playing is it 11 o'clock kickoff next Sunday?
11 UK. Banega cautioned. So 3 yellow cards per team.
Was it last year or the year before they had their first midday kickoff on a Sunday? It was against Levante. It was a big win as well. Was it 6 or 7-1?
There's Banega to Piatti.
Good tackle.
Taken off his toe brilliantly by Albiol.
As I said earlier, he's not had many games this season. He's starting to look like the old player he was. World Cup winner, good pace, comes across, does the job well.
Well, he may not be a regular in the Real Madrid team, but he's actually just won his 38th cap for Spain. Albiol, there he is again, winning the header. Ball whisked away by Higuain. It's a good point, actually, Jerry, you're making about that early kickoff. I think that's awfully early to be playing a game. I realise we have it every week in the Premier League. It's just foreign for the Spaniards.
Yeah.
We don't have games that kick off at 9 o'clock at night. We've had games, of course, 10 o'clock Spanish time as well. Lovely little elf. Now Jonas. And a good tackle again, it has to be said, by Albiol to unbalance him.
Well, he's put him under pressure, but you've got to hit the target, Rob. It's the same story, and the stats will prove you're right. They'll have had as many chances probably as Real Madrid, but they haven't tested the goalkeeper. They don't miss it at the near post either. Well done, Albiol, though.
Well, they've taken off Soldado. He's not had the kick of the ball, and it's Nelson Valdez is his replacement. Maybe the idea is to keep Soldado sharp for the game in that midweek when they play again here in the Copa del Rey. Valencia are only 2 goals down, and they feel that they should have won the first game despite losing 2. It's like that they have been outclassed, though, until that was just their 15th attempt at goal, Valencia. Lovely ball. Strong from Higuain. To be cleared because Ronaldo was on the prowl.
How good was that on the break there? Quick feet from Di Maria, good acceleration. Look at that ball with the outside of the left foot, right into the path of Gonzalo Higuain, and he cuts it back, looking for Ronaldo for a tap in. It really is super football.
Well, the scoreline hasn't changed since half-time. 20 minutes have passed in the second half without a Real Madrid goal. I think 20 minutes was the longest we went in the first half without Real Madrid scoring.
It's going to be a substitute. Luka Modric ready to come on. And again, points are in the bag. Rest players ahead of the game on Wednesday. And probably Mesut Ozil is the obvious choice, I think, to replace.
Disappointing.
Took a little bobble on him, didn't it?
It was a long lecture from Mourinho for Luka Modric. Just waiting a second or two to make the change. They caught the referee's attention now. And Modric will get a good 20-minute stretch of the legs. It's funny, he was the man who made Tottenham tick, but he's only started 9 league games for Real Madrid since his summer signing. Not unsurprisingly, it's Mesut Ozil, as Cherry said, who goes off. A player who hardly ever goes the full 90 minutes. No pressure on Modric. He can maybe start to live up to the €30 million price tag. Khedira backing him. He did foul him, but Piatti rather made a theatrical meal of it.
We saw that once or twice tonight, haven't we? But we saw some great football as well.
Tino Costa, low and hard. Really back for Real Madrid. Mourinho's asking his players for another clean sheet. Lots of concentration there. Reminder of what we got coming up this week, Spanish football-wise, Monday night. Completing the equation. Betis against Athletic Bilbao, 8:30 start. Our internet offering. Revista on Tuesday is a 6:30 start. Looking back at all of the goals of the weekend on Wednesday, Sevilla against Zaragoza, followed by Valencia, Real Madrid again, same place. And then on Thursday, Betis Atletico, part of our doubleheader on Sky Sports 2 HD, followed by Malaga against Barcelona, UK 9 o'clock kickoff time. Flip in from the substitute, Nelson Valdez.
Well, it's a typical one. He gets across Albiol, but he can't hit the target. But it's not an easy chance, to be fair to him. Good turn, Luka Modric.
There is Modric. Can he start to influence Real Madrid's midfield as he did Tottenham's at White Hart Lane? The ball by Essien. Good bullying from Ricardo Costa.
Well, there's no arguments, it's just shoulder to shoulder. And Ricardo Costa was a little bit too strong, and Higuain was slightly off balance.
Well, credit to the Valencia supporters. It's frustrating for them, heartbreaking for them as well. Getting behind their team, maybe looking at the bigger picture, thinking about the cup game in midweek. What a sweet retribution would taste then. Costa. Guardado. Followed all the way by Arbeloa. Just an insurance block from Coentrão.
I think he's done right, Rob. He wasn't sure, and if you're not sure, put it out. Final substitution for Ernesto Valverde.
Went to the corner, has been taken. Good block by Luka Modric from Guardado. And there's still an attack from that corner kick. Banega. Led away by Varane. He and Albiol have combined pretty well tonight. This is Essien. Screaming down the right-hand side, drifting in. Oh, brilliant ball, but just too much for Cristiano Ronaldo, who felt that maybe he should have had a penalty, but the ball was never really within his playing distance, despite his incredible speed.
It's a debatable one, Rob, I think, and he's gone down under a wee bit of pressure. Fabulous counter-attack movement again, but to be fair to him, Rami has come right across and
Rami's clattered it, but the thing was, like, as you said earlier in the game, it was a shoulder-to-shoulder, wasn't it?
A ball was under control, and I think it looked like it favoured the goalkeeper.
Too much contempt, despite the familiarity between these two sets of players. 3 games in a little over a week. Tino Costa. Pressure this from Vlencia. Can they get a consolation? Try holding his face. And swearing that maybe he should be holding his hand. Banega's cross. Easy. Beccaciers to nip it out of the night out.
Final cross wasn't a good one.
Ronaldo.
This is good play on the counter attack.
Freestyling between Ronaldo and Di Maria.
You look at the difference in the confidence when you're 5-0 up though, Rob. Look at this from Di Maria.
It's Vlencia who look them all tired of the two teams. They've made 3 changes from the Copa del Rey game in midweek, going to the goalkeeper Parejo. 3 are out. And that's why you could. I knew it hit him on that. Well, I knew. I suspected it hit his arm by the way that he was holding his face.
Well, he had both hands up, didn't he? And he should have got a yellow card for that.
Looping ball. Disappointing cross again from Vlencia. There's just a lack of purpose. There's promise, but no purpose.
Absolutely. Now, you know, he did get a yellow card in the first half, Rob, which I thought was unfair. He hit him on the chest and then touched his hand, and he was that close to it. That one was probably more of a yellow card than the first half one. I think they were looking to get him out, sent off. That was basically it, down to 10 men.
The referee took a very easy decision there.
Yeah.
Could have been 2 yellow cards for 2 handballs for Coentrão. As we say in Spain, if it is handball, then the directive to the referees is a yellow card. Along will come the old-timer to maybe give them some direction. David Albelda. Oh, sorry, Joe. Somebody the other way round. Wrong number 6. You do the substitution. It's Khedira who's coming off. Thanks a lot, mate.
I think it's Callejon that's coming on as well.
It is Callejon. And the 6 is for Khedira, who goes off.
He's making his point here. You sit in the hole. That's where you go. Well, he's got Michael Essien sitting in the hole, and Callejon can He can have a little bit of a free roll. One thing is, I've looked how much they've worked tonight. Real Madrid have put in a lot of effort, worked tremendously hard.
Well, they have the squad and they have the talent, of course, to be able to make changes. They have made 5 from the Copa del Rey success at the Bernabeu. Likes of Contra, Arbeloa, Di Maria, Higuain, around the players coming in. And maybe for midweek, Benzema will get a game. Callejon may get a start. Modric may get another opportunity. Good point that somebody made to us the other night, that there's a greater emphasis these days on the Copa del Rey, something they used to dismiss in Spain. But the argument is, Jerry, is it bigger than the FA Cup in England now?
Well, it's a trophy, it's a cup, and it's the equivalent in Spain, obviously, of the FA Cup, the Spanish Cup. Barcelona, the team that have won it the most, I think it's 25 times they've won it, and you've got Bilbao just behind them with 22, 23. And then, believe it or not, Real Madrid, and I think Real Madrid have won it about 18 times, but they've maybe lost it, and lost finals about 18 or 19 times. So it's a big competition for someone who can't win the league. From Real Madrid's point of view, they can't win the league this year, so they've got to think Spanish Cup and Champions League.
Of course, there have been some cracking games in the Copa del Rey between Barca and Real, and they're in the same half of the draw again this year. Barca can get past Malaga.
That's right, Barca's got a bit of work to do after the 2-2 draw.
It is against 10 men of Malaga. So a good dart here, and Casillas bides his time. Oh, that's a horrible fall from Valdez. He's slipped and falls very nastily, yeah. I don't think he actually wants pulling up with that left arm. That's where he's done the damage.
Well, he's coming off the grass onto the hard, and you can see his legs go straight away.
To say Iker Casillas back in tip-top form as well. He and Valdez, another great rivalry over the past decade in Spanish football. Bernat, who came on as a substitute, puts in the cross, and it's a good header away. There'll be a corner. There's Bernat. Essien in the way. Monchon knocks it out. It's a fine save by Casillas. Was saying that his rivalry with Valdez may well come to an end, because the story that's been circulating in Spain this week is that Valdez of Barcelona may want to leave the Camp Nou to taste foreign football.
No, he actually has announced that he's going to leave at the end of next season. Not this season, the end of next season, when his contract's up. He wants to try different leagues and, like you say, experience other countries.
Captured Valverde a couple of seconds ago, sitting in resignation on the bench. Of course, when it comes to the cup, he's going to be serving a 2-game suspension after his problems with the referee midweek. Certainly, whatever he said at half-time has brought an improvement in the Valencia performance and concentration.
They're better, but Rob, I just feel Real Madrid knew they'd won the points, and they haven't really stretched themselves too much. They've had 1 or 2 chances second half, but like I say, points in the bag. They've made a couple of substitutions to save legs. They're still looking solid at the back, Real Madrid. They're not giving anything away.
And it's Varane. Di Maria to Modric. Looking for movement, there's not a lot of it. Essien. Contrao. Michael Essien. Is there an arm there? Essien can't believe it.
Well, he looks
Because the
very
assassin
surprised.
is the smiling assassin.
Well, he's got his arm up, he's got his hand up to hold off Ramis. He puts his hand up. Ramis, that big 6'2" centre-half, goes down like a girl. Honestly, his hand comes up, touches him in the chin, and you'd think he was elbowed. And Michael Essien can't believe it.
Yes, he did go down rather easily, Jerry. Essien claiming that number 4 Rami was the fall guy. The willing shot, get another one notched up that's off target, this time Penega. Modric. Varane. What a difference since half-time. The first half it was the Real Madrid of last year. Swashbuckling, cavalier football, ripping Valencia apart. In the second half it's been a little more in keeping with this season's form. Slightly more reserved.
I think it's the consistency that they've lacked this season in the league, Rob, and that's why there's so many points adrift of Barcelona. And saying that, Barcelona's got 3 points more at this stage this season than they had last year.
It's Jonas. This has come a long way. Brilliant goalkeeping. There's an assurance with Iker Casillas behind you. Adan's a good goalkeeper, don't get us wrong. He's an under-21 international. It's been tough for him to come in to replace a legend. A little bit of Mourinho psychology has been worked on Iker Casillas. Well, that drum beats on behind the goal and the flags remain flying high, scarves above the supporters' heads. They'll reconvene in midweek in the Champions League Wednesday night in the Champions League, the Copa del Rey. Who knows, they may play each other in the Champions League this season. It's not beyond the realms. Ronaldo to Modric. Fantastic support from the Valencia fans. Loud, maybe they're not so proud as normal. The ship is sinking, the orchestra continue to play. This is Callejon. Arbeloa. Tried to run from Higuain. Strong block from Ricardo Costa. Be man of the match, haven't they, for Valencia? Those supporters behind the goal.
They deserve credit.
Wonderful.
5-0 down at half-time. Only ever heard that from the Northern Ireland fans.
Costa's header out. Contrao flies it back in, cleared by Victor Ruiz. Essien. Only their third home defeat in the 16 games they've played here this season. Their success in the Cups has been certainly built on their home form. Essien. Now Ronaldo. He's hunting for a hat-trick, remember, so is Di Maria. Essien. Higuain drives it in. Mentally close.
Well, they knew he was looking to shape to come inside on his right foot. Michael Essien feeds it out wide. He just misses the target at the near post.
Higuain does enjoy playing against Valencia. I mentioned before, he's now scored 6 goals in 5 games against them. Over the head of Callejon, led by Rami. One late surge from Real Madrid. Modric across the 6. Ronaldo.
Chance.
He knows it. He can't believe it.
Yeah, chance. Great step over from Modric, sticks it in the near post. You expect Ronaldo from that range. He's about 3 or 4 yards out. It's a little tap in, and he gets a little bit too complacent, a little bit nonchalant, and misses it at the near post.
I think he thought when it left his boot it was his 4th hat-trick of the season. Instead, he's sticking on 49 times that he scored 2 goals in a game for Real Madrid.
That's an awful record, isn't it? 49 times, you've scored twice.
He's, as you said before, Jerry, he's now on 30 goals for the season.
Yeah.
Same point last year is also on 30 goals. So, Messi's been in magnificent form, but Ronaldo has been up to his fantastic tricks as well. Just hasn't had the support around him.
Exactly, and it's been consistency for the team. The team's not been consistent in the league this year. That's why there's so many points adrift of Barcelona. Maybe they needed to win tonight because the defeat yesterday of Real Sociedad against Barcelona, their first league defeat of the season. Who would have thought it when they were 2-0 up?
A reminder that Atletico have strengthened at 2nd place. They beat Levante 2-0 earlier in the evening. They're now on 47 points, so there's going to be a 7-point gap between Real and Atletico. They'll close the gap on Barcelona down to 15. Mourinho's big ask is winning the European title. As he did with Porto, as he did with Inter Milan, he wants to do so with Real Madrid and create his own little historical corner at the UEFA HQ. Sit long. Rami. Not that statistics matter to the Valencia players, but they need a goal to ensure that it isn't their biggest ever home defeat by Real Madrid. Casillas is not in the mood for conceding.
No, he wants to keep another clean sheet to prove a point, and obviously it's from confidence point of view. The team keeping clean sheets, and you know they're going to create chances and score goals at the other end. If you keep clean sheets, then you're going to win matches.
They had a few sloppy games, didn't they, where they conceded 3 against Malaga and then 3 against Real Sociedad as Mourinho tinkered with the goalkeeping position. It's a good ball. Casillas is waiting. One of the problems, we got a big discussion when PM had his world tour this week. The things we were saying about Real Madrid is that 10 coaches in 10 years, and it's always been the captains of the club, the Gutis, the Hierros and Raul, who have decided who comes, who goes. But under this manager, there's only one boss, and the likes of Casillas and Ramos, in the past, the senior Spanish professionals would have dictated what went on at the club, and Mourinho's made sure that only his voice is the voice that is heard above all.
Yeah, well, he's picked out on Sergio Ramos, and he's dropped Ramos before in the past because he's criticised him. He's done the same with Casillas. Anybody who steps out of line, regardless who it is, Jose Mourinho makes the point, I'm in control, and I'll decide what happens at this club.
That's right, Cantrell, Portuguese, many.
Yeah, he fined him for being late.
He came late back at Christmas. Ronaldo's had the words this week. He has no favourites. Or he may argue that they're all his favourites, but they're all kept in check. This is Jonas into the final few seconds of this game. Game that Valencia can't wait to get out of. Maybe brush themselves down, start all over again. Try to haul back the 2-goal deficit in the cup. Now Modric has 3 to aim for. The tied legs of Di Maria. Modric. We haven't quite seen the dominance yet, have we, from Modric in the Real Madrid colours?
It's a new club, a new language, a new country. Give him a chance to settle. You know, I've seen him play, and I've seen him play some really good football. But like everything else, it's a difficult team to get into, this Real Madrid side. All internationals, all vying for positions and places.
Just a single minute added to the game by the referee. Jonas muscled off the ball. Of course, last week was the turning point. We're now to the second half of the season. Mourinho remains unmoved. He can head off now and celebrate an easy victory. 5 goals. They'll meet again. We know where, we know when, this week in the Copa del Rey. But they blasted apart Valencia in the first half. Higuain there.